Any fool can know. The point is to understand. Albert Einstein. In current times, the popularity of sports and the emphasis of them on our culture has seen an increase. Most specifically, volleyball has seen a statistical rise in players and viewers. The at one time less popular sport has begun to increase in interest and become the topic of more conversations. This is the perfect opportunity to learn a basic knowledge of volleyball and the way the game is played, in order to keep up if there happens to be a conversation about volleyball or if you happen to be at a game. I believe that there are three main points to the understanding of volleyball. Firstly, the origin of volleyball and the rise in popularity the game has seen due to a change in the way it's played, the popular lingo used by players and followers, and then the players' roles and what they do in each position. I'll now take you through the origins of volleyball and why it has seen a rise in popularity. Volleyball has become more popular due to the changes the game has seen over the years. Created by William G. Morgan in 1895, the USA Volleyball site states that Morgan created the game on a compilation of other games and the rules that they used. He combined basketball, tennis, baseball, and handball to create volleyball. The site also stated that some of the original rules he created the game caused the game to be less interesting and slower. A lower net caused the players to pretty much be able to do whatever they wanted. You could only score if you were serving, and no serve could touch the net as it traveled over, and any number of players could be on the court at any time. By updating the rules, the game became a lot more competitive and each point lasted longer. This made the game a lot more interesting to watch and exciting and to play. This led to an increase in popularity. Statistics show an increase in popularity and the viewing of volleyball. Appeal to the sport grew greatly after the U.S. team medaled in the Beijing Olympics. According to Kevin Newell, 400,000 high schoolers now play volleyball. Volleyball, How High Can It Rise? States that select volleyball memberships rose from 17,349 in 1980 to 234,922 in 2008. Although these are just a few statistics about the growing popularity of volleyball and how the game has changed, the second key to understanding volleyball is to understand the language that volleyball use and the terms that the players and the followers talk about. Volleyball fans and players have a whole different language that they use to discuss the game of volleyball, consisting of many common terms. First off, the most broadly used term is the term rally. Synonymous to volley, a rally is just when a team sends the ball back and forth over the net for a period of time. In terms of offense, there's a serve, a pass, a set, and a hit. A serve is the initial contact, and it's when a player steps behind the line and hits the ball over the net to the other team. A pass is the first contact of a rally, and it's when the player takes the ball with both forearms and directs it to the setter. The set is then when the setter takes the ball with both hands over their head and pushes it to a hitter. A hitter then takes a three-step approach, swings their arms back, and contacts the ball with the palm of their hand, sending it over to the other side. There are two popular terms used for defense. The terms are a block and a dig. A block can be between a middle and an outside, or a middle and a right side. And it's just when the two girls go up together and push their hands over the net in an attempt to stop the other team from hitting. A dig is when it's the same thing as a pass, but it's when the other team hits and then the player just takes it with their forearms and directs it to the hitter. And it's termed differently than a pass because it's just off of a hard-driven ball, so they call it a dig instead. And then random terms used in volleyball or just misunderstood or commonly unknown are a kill and a shank, and they're kind of associated together. And a kill is when the player hits the ball and it immediately hits the ground, or a person can try to pass it, but they shank the ball, which just means that it shoots off to another direction and that no other player can get to it. And then if a player does shank the ball, that results in a kill for the other team and a point. And then an ace is when a player serves the ball over and it immediately hits the floor or gets shanked. And then a side out is an old term, so some of you may know what it is, but it's just an encouragement word meaning let's get the ball back and let's win this point so we can serve. And then a double is when the setter takes the ball and it just goes off at different times so the ball spins, and that's illegal, so it results in a point for the other team. Now that you know some of the basic terms in volleyball, the next key to understanding the game is the positions and the roles they play. There are 6 players on the court at any given time. In the front row, which is closest to the net, there's an outside, a middle, and a right side. In the back row, there's a DS, a libero, and a setter. Each of the 6 players play a different role. An outside is the main hitter, so they receive most of the balls. And then a middle blocker blocks, so they require the most speed and agility because they have to get to every single ball that the other team hits. And then the right side is the backup hitter and the backup setter, but they are required to block the other team's best hitter, so it's a lot of responsibility. And then in the back row, the DS is the defensive specialist, and they normally play in left back, and they only play back row. And then the libero, according to Newell, means free in Italian, and they wear the different colored jersey, and they can go into the back row and out of it as many times as they want without counting a sub, and that's why they're free. And then the setter takes every second ball and directs it to the hitter. You've now received the basic information and the roles that each person plays on the team and their position. So today I discussed the 3 main points to the understanding of volleyball. The origin and the rise of popularity received due to the change in the way it's played, the lingo, and then the players and the positions they play. Hopefully you now have a better understanding of the game of volleyball and the rise and popularity it received. Now you can just have an educated discussion about it or watch a game and understand what's going on. As Einstein said, now you don't have to be a fool and just know, you can understand.